And welcome to Obituary Reviews. I'm your host, Jay. And before we get started with today's reviews, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to this channel. Ever since I was a little boy, well, how little was I? I don't know. I used to be a newspaper boy, so I'd be walking around town in Canada, delivering the newspaper and reading through it. And of course, a young boy's mind is quite imaginative, curious, emotional. And I remember I was always reading the different articles, and some of the articles were really funny to me. Some of them I just didn't understand. And then I was always fascinated with the obituary section, even though it did scare me at the thought of death and people dying, and maybe what if someone I knew was going to be in there. But I did end up reading them a lot, and I still do to this day. And actually, I found a pretty interesting site about a year back called necrocanada.com, where they just list all the different obituaries from the different newspapers or funeral homes in Canada, and so I find this site really easy to go through, and I just want to click on a few different obituaries and see what I see, and have you along with me as I go through them. So I'm thankful that you're joining and that you're listening. Excuse me. And let's get started here. Yeah, actually, I notice a lot of in my work and in my circles and things, I notice a lot of younger people dying these days. I don't know what it's about. So that's another reason I want to get through this and yeah, spot some trends, see what's going on in the world today. So let's just pick a random one here. Okay. Often, if there's just a picture on there, like of a tulip or an animal, usually there's nothing really written there. Let's just click on this old guy here, Dan Gillard, 2025. And here it is. So, okay, he passed away unexpectedly. Well, he wasn't too old. 64 is a great age to be living, but not to be dying. So he was a stepfather, 10 grandchildren. That's nice. Many great grandchildren. Well, he's a lucky guy. Was a lucky guy. So now donations can be made to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. So you kind of see he must have gone by a heart attack or a stroke, which is funny. Just taking a look at the guy. I mean, it's great to be fishing on a boat and catch a fish like that. I like the cigarette hanging out the mouth. I mean, but this old guy's got the sleeve tattoos. It's kind of funny. Maybe, some of these old guys try to get young again. I don't think they were doing sleeve tattoos back in the 70s or 80s or 90s. Actually, sometimes in Canada, I go to let's say, Shoppers Drug Mart, and the old lady working there, she's probably 60 or mid 50s, and sometimes she's got these tattoos all over her arms or even up to her neck, and there's so many tattoos around these days. But that's just me. You're gonna hear a lot of my cynical attitude here. Nice. I saw this younger lady here. I'm kind of curious about this. Jennifer Amanda Heaton Velakis. Wow, that's a mouthful. Sure. Yeah, I wonder if she goes through that whole name. Probably hyphenated Heaton Velakis. Okay, so Jennifer died January 10th. Oh, by the way, today is January 20th where I am, and she died at the age of 39 after a fierce battle with cancer at the Kingston General Hospital. That's really sad. I see a lot of these young people are dying from cancer these days. Born in Ajax, Ontario. Is it Ajax? I probably should be calling it Ajax. I'm Canadian, I don't even know that. Okay, so she had leukemia at the age of 15. Oh, that's hard. She had a long battle with cancer. Man, that's harsh. And she got married and had 2 children, so that's good. Charlotte and Olivia. So the children are welcome to the funeral with an open casket. Interesting. I remember taking my children to the open casket funeral of my grandmother, and I didn't know what they're thinking in their little minds at that time. I remember seeing my grandma with an open casket, and I was like 20 or 19. Remember, it was still a little weird. So it's only January 20, and look at all these people going. Let's check this lady out. Sheree Elizabeth Nicholson. She died on the 17th. Ontario as well. Looks like, wow, Sheree was married 3 times, and each marriage brought a lot of lovely people into her life. That's interesting. I think a woman can get married 3 times. I think as a man, if you're married 3 times, people start to look at you as some kind of weirdo. But someone said once, a guy can get divorced once, and that's kind of normal. If a guy gets divorced like 7 times, or 6 times, it's like that. What a funny guy. That guy sure lived a lot. But if a guy gets divorced 2 or 3 times, everyone looks at him kind of as a loser. Let's see. So we're just on the first page. That's a nice old lady. Let's take a look at this guy here, Vianney Charles Drapeau. Hopefully it's not in French. Okay, wow, another younger man dying at Pembroke Regional Hospital, 54 years old man. Cremation has taken place. Another guy, they're giving a donations to the Ottawa Regional Cancer Center, so you kind of see he probably also suffered from cancer, and it's quite sad. It's not a great way to go out, is it? But Norm Macdonald, one of my favorite comedians, my very favorite comedian, one of my favorite people in the whole world, he would kind of joke, well, he actually died of cancer too, but he would say he doesn't like how we say people lost their battles to cancer. If anything, it was a draw, because the cancer died with you, so you can't really call it losing a battle to cancer. Did I say it as funny as he did? No, I don't think so. Norm Macdonald, one of my favorite people ever. Miss him a lot. How can you say that about a celebrity? How could you miss a celebrity? Well, I miss him, and just check out this guy. He's got a backwards hat, not hoop earrings. What are those called? I don't even know what those are called. And a nose ring, and a neck tattoo. He was a real rebel, and he died of a motor vehicle accident on the 15th. he has a daughter, so, and a stepson. It's very sad to leave behind two young ones like that, from a car accident. Donations, looks like, towards the children. Yeah, that's 38 years old is very young age. There's a nice old man. Let's see what old. Both these guys look kind of interesting. Let me click on this guy. Is that a fedora? Is that what they're called? On his head? Okay, so October 27, 1953 to January 18, 2025. 72 years old. Passed away suddenly at his home. He retired after a lengthy career at St. Clair. What does that even stand for? I don't know. Wow, he had a wife of... Gary will be missed by his wife 49 years. Just missing that golden anniversary. A private celebration of life will take place. Well, he loved time with his dog, tinkering with his little cars in his shop. Good for him. Good for him. He's always there to lend a hand to anyone who needed it. I hope that's true. That's great. Yeah, looks like an interesting old fellow. Old Gary Hackett down the road. There's another interesting guy. Looks like he's in the shop as well. I really liked paying attention. I like paying attention to the little photos they use, the photos that they choose to remember people. And there's I want to click on all of them, but we just don't have time to go through them all. Yeah, if you're ever interested, this is a really interesting site. Let's take a look at this guy, a younger man. John Bauer, Vidito, out of New Brunswick. Obituary of John Bauer Vidito. He's also known as Little Johnny Bauer throughout his life. Passed away at 54. Had a life full of love, humor, dedication. Liked horses and motorbikes. So hey, who doesn't? But he probably really liked them. So they don't really talk about how this guy went. But it looks like he had he has children too. It's hard for a younger person to go and having left two children behind, but it happens a lot. This lady's a little interesting and kind of thin, if I might say. Oh, so Carolyn Heather Mui, at 37, passed away from a blood bacterial infection. That's a shame. She was a great mother, it looks like, and she believed in the Lord Jesus Christ. She's a Christian, and donations can be sent to her children's Christian school. That's interesting. But yeah, 37. That's much too young to die of a blood bacterial infection. Poor lady. Let's check out old Brian James Clark. Nice stash. So Brian was born in 1950 and raised in Isabella, Manitoba. That's a nice name of a town. And then he moved to Vancouver in the early 70s. Oh, that's a good time to get out there. Much cheaper than it is now. Um, he made, well, later on he made Nanaimo's home on Vancouver Island. I got a lot of stories about Vancouver Island I could share someday on this channel if you keep listening. Um, yeah. That's just page 2 or only. Lucy Bonita Cornelson out of Nova Scotia. This wide country of ours. Oh, wow, another young person, age 34, died of cancer. The Valley Regional Hospital. Wow, that's so young. And she's also leaving behind a husband and children. 3 children. Wow. A young person. It's a nice photo. I like that. It looks, is that they captured a rainbow there while she's holding some lilies. Pretty nice. Just one more page and see what we can find here. Jose Moniz Raposo. No information, unfortunately, on this guy. Clicked on the wrong one. Oh, let's check out old Joanne Hollingsworth. Looks like a nice lady. She passed away at her home at the age of 76. Her husband's already gone, Nolly Sylvan. She'll be missed by her siblings, family, and friends. I hope it doesn't say about any children there. That's interesting. Let's see here. I just find these photos so fascinating. Ooh, this guy's caught himself a lobster. Let's see what's going on with this guy here. Randy Joseph Park. He died at the age of 72 at the hospital, leaving behind. He has a daughter, leaving behind his daughter and sons. I'm trying to find some information with this guy. Doesn't really go much into his life story, unfortunately. I'll just find one more. I know I said it was going to be the last page, but I just find one more here. Shinbum Peter Moon. Shinbum's a Korean name. Shinbum passed away, born in 1950, and the son of a respected school principal and the second child in a family of 5. Peter embodied the values of hard work, perseverance, and faith. I like that's written nicely. He completed his mandatory service in the Korean Army, and he worked at Korean Airlines. Wow. He even started before establishing his own company. Wow, he's a pretty successful guy. Instead of climbing ranks before establishing his own airline entertainment company. Never mind. Okay, he didn't start his own airline, but an airline entertainment company, that's a great thing. He was a writer for the Korean Times of Montreal, inspired the Korean community. He was part of the Korean Christian community. A lot of Koreans are Christian. And he was a blogger with 500,000 people in South Korea. Wow. He was proud of his family, loved to boast about his daughters. Yes, Hera and Haewon. Who doesn't love to boast about their children? He faces battle with cancer with strength and grace. He seems like a good guy. Seems like people are going to miss him. And I think we'll end it there. And I will please check back